Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages from around the world. Welcome to episode 20. I think it's episode 20 of Some Random. I'm your host, Sriracha Flash. With me today, the beautiful, the magnanimous EJ the LeMon. EJ, what's going on, buddy? How you living?
What it do, baby?
Oh, fuck, man. I'm happy to get you on the show. It's been a minute. I know we talked a couple weeks ago, shit like that, and I've been like, I've had guests that I'm like, all right, I need to set them for this time. Like, fuck, finally I need to get to EJ, have this motherfucker on. So,
Yeah.
we're here. Oh, shit, man. Well, yeah, I'm happy to have you. But before we get to everything else, let the people know, who the hell are you, man?
Alright, who the hell am I? So my name is EJ. I'm on Twitter, EJ the LeMon. That's probably where most people know me, or know me in tournament as LeMon. I haven't really made like a big name for myself, so like mostly most people that know me or know of me know me from Twitter and from shitty memes. And
That's all right, man. Look, that's the point of the show. We're all just a bunch of fucking randoms out here having a good time.
yeah, I feel you. But I mean, I am I guess a meme creator, quote unquote. I'm a FGC member. I play Dragon Ball Fighters and I play Tekken actively. Like those are the games that I seriously compete in. I'm trying to learn a couple other games, but for the most part, that's pretty much it. And I love the Michigan FGC, and that's where I'm from. So that's who I am.
Hell yeah, man, for real. I mean, look, to limit yourself to those two games are probably the hardest and most technical games to play right now. So,
Yeah.
like, it's alright if you don't branch out beyond those fucking two games.
Yeah, it's mainly just Tekken. Tekken, it's me and my brother used to play it a long time ago, and like that was like the most like intuitive game for us because every button, like you visually see something happening, and you'd be like, oh, okay, I can do this, this, and this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
for sure.
it's definitely easy to like pick up, but it's hard to like master at a high level. So that like Tekken is what eats up a lot of my time, like competitively, because it's really hard to get a lot of the technical aspects of it down.
Yeah, that's because, like, I remember growing up as a kid, me and my brothers, we had Tekken 2 and Tekken 3. And, like, we played the shit out of those games. Because, like, we didn't have a memory card back in the day, but we had the fucking games. So we would just leave the console on. We would just leave the console on for, like, days at a time trying to unlock all the characters. Then, like, Mom would shut the game off. And then we're like, fuck, we gotta start over.
Yeah, I definitely know the feel. Yeah.
So, like, we did a lot of Tekken back in the day. That was the shit. But, like, now, like, I can pick it up and I can play with some buddies and shit like that. But, like, I haven't put enough time into it to master it. So, like, much respect to, like, to you and especially a lot of the fucking Detroit scene that's put in a lot of fucking time, like, in the Tekken scene, man. Because y'all are fucking wild.
Yeah, there's people in the scene that have been. So I've been competing actively since Tekken 7 came out, and that's when I like I went to my first local, and I said, okay, I wanna like learn the game like the proper way. At first, I was hard headed about it. I didn't really want to listen to everybody because it's like a certain like process that you go through when you get into fighting games competitively. You come in, you think you're sweet, you can beat all your friends, you can beat everybody in the real close local area. Then you go out to like somewhere where it's like real FGC people. They're like real people who dedicate to the game, and you get clapped and you run the lane. Like, what happened? Like, I thought I was good, And I had to go through that process of realization, like, okay, I don't know the game as well as I think that I do, and I had to dedicate to learning it the way that other people did it. And so that's why I say I've really only been playing for a little over 2 years. But
for sure.
there are people who have been playing that 2 years times 10. There are people that have been playing as long as I've been alive.
Right.
They've been trying to learn the game, in the Detroit FGC, and I'm real thankful for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of those guys are fucking super, super helpful, And don't get me wrong, like, I feel like the Detroit scene is definitely one of those things where, like, what's the fucking phrase? Like, pressure turns coal into a diamond? Like,
yes.
Like,
I was going to talk about that today, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like, that fucking scene is great. And, like, for the most part, like, y'all are super fucking helpful and shit like that. Like, it's a good-ass scene, for sure. For fucking sure, man. I've always felt welcome whenever I head down to the fucking Detroit scene for Michigan Masters and all kinds of other shit. Like, y'all are super, super cool. So I've always felt welcome down there. but yeah, man, I fucking good on you for fucking. Look, all right, so the difference between Tekken and like Dragon Ball Fighters.
Okay.
How? How do I want to phrase this? Tekken is like difficult on a execution and mastery level, whereas Dragon Ball is more understanding and realizing block strings and mix-ups for the most part. Like, do I have that just about right? Like, or am I way off in the weeds?
Yeah, I feel like both of the games are fundamentally kind of difficult to play. Like again, it's the same situation as Tekken has, where you can pick up the game, you can push some buttons, and you can see cool shit, and you can be like, oh, okay, I'm happy, right? But if you want to like learn the game at a like true fundamental level and understand it, it becomes very, very difficult. That's where the difficulty spikes. And you're right in the sense that it's difficult in two different ways, because with Tekken is a lot more based off of if I create this situation, this will happen. You need to, Tekken is heavily, heavily lab based, where it's like okay, if I'm +3, like I know what I can do when I'm +3. Like I know for sure that this will work, and if they do this, I can do this. It's heavily like cause and effect. At least that's the way that I see Tekken. Fighters does not operate by those principles. It doesn't, and that's why it's kind of challenging to me to balance out playing both of those games, because my training partner in Fighters is really, really good at adapting and recognizing a situation and coming up with something on the fly to do in response to that. He's very good at playing with his heart, and I'm not. I'm a very like lab heavy and situation based player. And that's why that's the distinction I have between those two games. It's like Fighters is hard to figure out what's going to happen, and Tekken is hard in the sense of figuring out how to control the situation. You get what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a really good way of putting it. Like, for me, I don't have a lot of experience in anime fighters, at least not playing competitively. I've always picked them up and toyed around with them, but never, like, entered fucking, like, competition or anything like that. So, yeah, to hear it, like, broken down, at least for, like, the anime side, is super fucking helpful, Even a little bit of, like, breakdown the visualization helps. Because, like, my background is, like, 2D fighters, like Street Fighter, King of Fighters, and shit like that. World Heroes and all kinds of, like, nonsense garbage 2D fighters. So, like... The minute that I popped in Eunice, I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like Under Night is a different animal. Like this shit is. This is not.
Anime fighters kind of operate by their own principles,
Yeah.
Especially Eunice and Guilty Gear and games like that, and Blaze Blue games like that. They're more like, okay, when you're playing neutral, you get the touch, and then they explode. Not only do they explode, but the explosion leads into a knockdown, and now that's when it's like that. Once you get that first touch, that's when you control the match, because you can make them guess on wake up, and then you can run your offense. So that's where all your setups and stuff comes from. You have to get that touch,
right?
And then and what's really interesting, like about another distinction between like playing Tekken and playing Fighters is if I do something unsafe in Tekken, my opponent has to know the appropriate response to punish that. Like the exact appropriate response for that character and for that move, Right. In Fighters, once something is punishable and you don't cover it, I can just press light and I'll get a full combo conversion, Oof. So that's why I say like Tekken, they're hard, but they're hard in like two different ways.
Right. Yeah, they're like I said, they're two completely different beasts, and to be entering and playing like at the level that you are is fucking super, super skillful. So I commend you on it, my dude, because that shit is fucking rough.
I appreciate it. I'm trying, man.
Well, shit, man. All right, well, let's take it all the way back. Let's fucking before Dragon Ball Fighters, before Tekken, what got you started in fighting games in the first place?
All right. The first fighting game I can vividly remember playing at all is probably Tekken 4. And when I was little, we didn't buy a lot of games. We owned the PS2, but we didn't like actively buy a lot of games. Like most of the games that I played, my brother either borrowed from somebody or we rented it from Blockbuster.
Oh yeah, I know all about that.
Yeah. RIP the homie Blockbuster.
Yeah, Blockbuster Family Video, man. They fucking kept me afloat when I was a kid.
Man, for real. I got some stories about Blockbuster, but anyways. So I remember him bringing home Tekken 4 one day, and I remember, mind you, this is like the first fighting game I remember, so I remember playing Tekken Force and being terrible at it, and I remember playing as Steve on the like arena stage.
Okay.
And so I guess I had like a natural calling to play top tier characters because Steve was really messed up in that game. And I remember playing against my brother and him just beating my ass, And that's definitely the first one I played. And then I remember playing that same Tekken at Dave & Buster's. We used to go to Dave & Buster's like once or twice a year, usually for our birthdays, me, my brother, and my sister. Mm-hmm. And I remember like me and my brother would always beat at least one of the Time Crisis games, and then we would usually spend like the rest of our money playing Tekken, and that was it. So Tekken is definitely like the franchise I've always played, and I think the one that I put the most time into it, even though it was casually, and I didn't really understand the game at a good like competitive level. The game, like the Tekken I played the most, and my favorite is probably Tekken 6. I love Tekken 6.
Okay. That was the one that I fell off the fucking wheels on, because I was like, oh man, Tekken 6 come out. Like, I remember loving Tekken. And then I bought it, and then I never fucking played it. Like, I popped it in a couple times, and I was like, I'll fucking get to it when I get to it. And, like, I didn't come back around to Tekken until Tekken Tag 2. And, like, that's when I was like, oh, fuck, man, Tekken's really fun. Like, I should play this more. Like, that shit's so much fun.
Yeah, so, like, Tekken 6, I had it on 360, and, I played the fuck out of that game. I love it. I love that game so much. That game also is when I started playing Jin. And I guess maybe that's a big reason why I love that game so much, is because I remember being little, and I remember this so vividly. Like, I'll never forget. Like, I was playing through as Steve and Law. I was switching between the two, right? Okay. And I was trying to get through the arcade mode before my brother got home. And I was going through. And the sub-boss in that game, I know most people remember the final boss, Azazel, right? The big purple dragon with the Egyptian shit on. Yeah, that's cool or whatever. I didn't care about him. The sub-boss was Jin. Because in the story, Jin was the head of the Mishima family at that point. Okay. Never forget the opening cutscene of that fight when the music hits and he's sitting on the throne and he's looking at you over his glasses, and, because they had the custom fit. So I remember the one that I was going against had the glasses. Staring at you over his glasses with his arms folded and his legs folded and looking at you, and then he gets up off the throne. He does the stance to get the rainbow. I'm like, oh my god, this character is too cool. I knew at that moment I had to play him like that, and that's been my main ever since.
Yeah, I mean that shit like leaves a fucking imprint on you, man. Because like when I was a kid, I got the Devil May Cry 3 demo, like in one of those like shitty old magazine like demo discs that has like 10 games on it or whatever. And the intro scene. Oh
man, I haven't heard of one of those in a minute, man.
Dude. The intro video for Devil May Cry, I swear to God it was 3, where like Dante like kills a demon in his office and he's like eating pizza the whole time. I was like, well, obviously Dante's the fucking coolest character ever. And so like when he came out in like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and shit, I was like, well, I gotta play Dante because he's fucking cool. Like, of course, right? How am I not gonna play fucking Dante? Oh man, those games used to be like, there are set pieces in games and shit like that where like cool moments where they will fucking like put a cool character like that, and that shit just imprints on you forever. You're like, oh fuck, like that character's cool as fuck. Like, how can I not touch this character?
Right, exactly.
I wish there was more shit like that these days.
That's exactly what happened with me and Jen. Like once I saw that, and once he continued to beat my ass for the rest of the day, I was like, it's over. That's my character forever. And ironically, after that game, he was okay. He was a solid like upper B, like mid A tier character in Tag 2. From what I understand, I didn't compete in Tag 2, but that's what I've been told. But in 7, I think that he's like the best character in the game in season 2, and then in this current season, I think he's still top 5.
Okay.
So yeah.
I've seen a lot of people on Twitter be like, Jin has some shit in this season. Like Jin
This
has...
season, oh yeah, he's fucked up. People are saying that he got nerfed because he can't get a combo off of 4-4, which is one of his key moves. Well, he can, but it's different. Like you can't use it the same way. And that he can't combo at all off of down back 4, which is another one of his key moves. And people are like, oh, he's not as good. You have to take more risks with him. I'm like, man, I'm not trying to hear all that. Because if he gets you to the wall, you're getting mixed and dying. I love that character right now.
Oh fuck yeah. I don't know. Jin's cool as fuck, man. The cover of him on 3, like with the fucking fist, I was like, all right, like I'm in for this character. Like him and Brian Fury were my fucking shit back in the day. Like, it's like
yeah.
Fucking Brian, like when he starts the match by like laughing, like oh all right, like I'm alright with this guy. Like he has that fucking maniacal laugh where he fucking just walks into the stage like all right, like obviously I'm gonna fuck some shit up with this guy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, so Tekken has always been in my life. I love that game. But I've played like a lot of other fighting games. Like before I decided to start competing, I was like out of my group of friends, I was like the person who plays fighting games a lot and was like, kind of nice or whatever. I was bad, but still like people thought I was nice.
Right.
People in my school, they thought I was nice. But there was my problem when I was growing up is that like, I'm obviously young, so I didn't grow up in the arcade era, that, and to double with that, I didn't start playing online until like I hit high school already.
Okay.
And by then, there wasn't really a Tekken game. Tekken 6 wasn't something I was interested in anymore because that game had been like out for like 4 or 5 years by the time I hit high school. Well, not that long, about 3 or 4 years. So I didn't play Tekken online at all, and I didn't even know of Tag 2 until like it was basically already finished with its competitive cycle. And so in that like interim time, like I was playing a whole bunch of other fighting games. Like I remember playing MKX a lot online, and I wasn't ever really like amazing at it, but I knew how to mix people up with Ermac, so that was cool. And then I played the game that I probably put the most time into outside of fighting games is there's 2 games that I probably put the most time into. Is Devil May Cry 3. I can play that game for the rest of my life and be happy. And I put a lot of time into Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations.
Ooh, okay.
Bro, look, I'm telling you now, man. I'm pretty sure that to this day, there's nobody fucking with me in that game. I'm 100% sure. That's a challenge. Anyone who wants to smoke can get it, man. Like, I played me so much Storm 3, and Storm 4. I was cold, like.
Oh, man, we used to get those games because I used to work at GameStop. So we'd get those games in, and I'd be like, all right, like I got to take this home and test it out because you could just. A little dirty secret about GameStop for anyone that doesn't know: if you work there, you can just take whatever fucking game you want home. Like you can just have that shit. You gotta bring it back in like 7 days. But like for the time period, like I could just take whatever fucking game home I wanted to. So like whenever like any of the Shippuden games or like at the time Budokai the Collection had come out on Xbox 360 that had 1 and 3. So like I just took that shit home and like played the fuck out of it. And so every arena battler like that, I think there was there was a One Piece game that was like the same way. That I was just like, I'm never gonna buy these games, but I'll sure as fuck take these home and jam on them for 7 days before I fucking have to bring them back. Those games are cool as fuck, man.
Yeah.
The CPU fucks me up at every Naruto game though. Like the CPU, that shit's cold. Like those two will fuck you up.
Yeah. So the thing, like, I really do have like a soft spot for like anime arena fighters, but it's sad because they just, I don't know. I feel like Storm had so much success and was like right on the cusp of being like kind of recognized competitively,
Mm-hmm.
that they just kind of that's just kind of the formula that they ran with, because now they still have anime fighters or anime arena fighters coming out that either completely mimic that formula or are just like not innovating on it at all. And it's kind of sad, really, because that's kind of like the genre of fighting game that like first made me like, okay, I want to practice, I want to get better, I want to learn, how to, I want to learn the advanced mechanics of a game.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's kind of sad now when I
yeah.
look
Well,
at those
because like
games.
Jump Force came out, and Jump Force didn't really do shit except for
Oh
like,
man, it's terrible.
like,
It's terrible. I honestly tried to play it for a little while too, but I just couldn't do it. Like I
and
couldn't do it.
that one had so much potential because it's like coming right off the fucking coattails of Fighters coming out. Like it's got all these characters from fucking anime that everyone loves. Like it looks like okay for a game. Like it's not super beautiful, but it looks pretty goddamn good. And then they just were like, fucking it is what it is. Like if y'all want to buy it, buy it. Like, we don't give a shit. And like, fuck, man. Like I wish y'all would do something to make the game like to draw people in, because fighting games are like on that bubble of like we're getting really close to erupting and having like a giant audience. Like we need games out there that fucking draw people in.
Yeah, the fighting games are definitely right on the cusp of like breaking into like huge modern media mainstream to me.
Right.
Like right on the cusp of it.
I mean, yeah.
Like esports overall, like I know there are a lot of games that are like way more successful than fighting games right now, like League and Dota and Counter Strike and Rainbow and stuff, so on and so forth. But fighting games, I think, have a really unique aura to them when it comes to the competitive nature of them. Like I watch League and I watch Rainbow because at least those are the two other esports that interest me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just nothing like watching or being at a fighting game event to me. That's something just so unique, and that's like part of the reason why I've continued to like try to learn and try to get better so I could go to more events, because I don't think there's anything else like it in the world.
Nah, man, there's really not. Like, the fucking energy that, like, gathers in a room, and you can feel that shit swelling up. When it's, like, a 2-2 set in, like, grand finals, or even, like, losers finals or some shit like that, and it's coming down to, like, last round, last game, and, like, people that are, like, homies for, like, the guy that's, like, on the cusp of losing, and motherfuckers that are, like, friends with the underdog. Like, all that energy starts building up, and it's super tense, and you can feel it, and, oh, fuck, man, there's nothing like it. Like,
it's incredible. It's incredible. It is.
To be like cheering and yelling in the same room with like 100 other fucking dudes that just want to see the exact same thing you want to see is just like some hot shit.
Yeah,
Fuck,
it is.
But yeah, that's
what I'm saying. It's so unique. Like, and it's different from like, because before I started competing in fighting games, I competed in other things too. Like in high school, I did First Robotics, which is like an engineering competition, basically. And I also boxed for about 2 years.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah. But it's so different. Like, boxing is fun for me, and it's like, it's doable for me because I'm a able-bodied, young man, and I don't have any like severe health problems or anything like that. Like I have asthma, but you can work through that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's great, and I can watch. Me personally, I can watch boxing all day, but not everyone is going to be able to watch boxing all day because it is a very violent and very brutal sport at the end of the day, right? Yeah. Same thing with MMA, same thing with most combat sports. But fighting games, the two differences between a real life combat sport and a fighting game is that one, everybody can watch it for the most part. I don't think you should have like kids watching Mortal Kombat this shit. But for the most part, like like you can sit down and have your kids watch a Street Fighter tournament, or a Tekken tournament. And it's innocent fun for like the whole family. You can't necessarily have your kids sit down and watch MMA,
Right.
But it's a viewership experience for literally anybody. And on top of that, it's something that literally almost anybody can get into and play and try to participate in themselves, you know.
Yeah.
No matter what age, no matter what you look like, even most people who are disabled, they can get in and compete. Like one of the people that I watch a lot in Street Fighter is Broly Legs. I think that's incredible what he does, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that motherfucker, man, shout out to that dude and like everything that he's done and accomplished lately, and like especially that ESPN piece on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like that motherfucker has gone out and like taking every hardship thrown at him. It's just like, nah, fuck this. Like I'm gonna keep doing what I want to do.
Yeah. And I mean, I cannot think of another thing on this planet where it would have that type of impact and excuse me, it have that type of impact and you're also enabled to be able to do something like that other than fighting games.
Right. I mean,
he plays with his face, bro. That's cold. Come on now, man.
He plays with his face, and it's not like, oh, he plays with his face like he's doing all right. He plays with his face, and he's fucking good. Like, the motherfucker is good.
Yes, he cold.
Me personally, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I'll first attempt Broly Legs. Like, unless there's fucking real money on the line and I got time to train. Because, like, that motherfucker's gonna take my money.
Exactly.
He's so fucking good. And, like, yeah, like you said, like, kids of all ages can enter. Like, we just saw it at EVO. Like, what was the kid? Tsuyoshi, who entered Dragon Ball Fighters. And that like, he did really good at EVO. Like, at EVO. Like, the competition of competitions. This 9-year-old kid is out here whooping ass and taking names, man.
Right. What's interesting about his story, a lot of people talk about him. He's like 9 years old. And that's incredible. Like, this 9-year-old, like you said, is out here whooping these people that have been, you know, playing the game for their whole life. Well, not that game in particular, but playing fighting games for a long time. What I also think is very interesting about that story that people don't pay attention to is that his dad, who never was interested in fighting games, I think his dad is like in his 40s or something.
Yeah.
He started playing the game and learning the game so that he has something he can, you know, do with his son.
Oh, no shit.
Yes. And he has gone to Fighting Tuesday tournaments with his son and actively competed and is learning the game.
Damn,
that's incredible.
I had
that's
no
incredible.
idea. Fucking shout outs to Fighting 2 Days, Imagine Obama, and all those dudes out there. Holy shit. Yeah. That's a fucking great story. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. And I think that they had like I guess you could call it like a Rising Stars tournament one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was in grand finals, but I think, him and his dad ended up fighting each other, and the son won. But the dad was like, they asked him, like, how do you feel or whatever. He said, you know, I just really enjoy spending time with my son, but next time I'm going to beat him. That's cool. That's amazing.
That's cool as fuck. I almost got tears in my eyes fucking listening to that. God damn.
Yeah.
I'm fucking tear up over here. Shit. That's cool as hell. I had no idea. That's fucking news to me. Holy shit. I'm gonna go look up that whole story after we're done with this.
Right.
Damn, that's cool as hell. All right, well, shit, man.
Like that a couple months ago, I was like, wow, that's fighting games. Like that situation and that story like can sum up why I think fighting games are so amazing. Like in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean it does. Like fighting games bring people together like nothing else do. Cause like, you know, I rolled with a squad of guys like when I used to play Gears like heavy. You play Gears 2, Gears 3 like heavy. And like I still keep tight with those dudes, and like it is what it is. But like I was talking about in the last episode with RF Hacker, like I met a guy like strictly through playing Street Fighter 5, had never like talked to this dude in person in my life, and the next thing I knew I was like rooming up with him at Combo Breaker, like, and we're just like hanging out eating pizza, fucking playing video games till 3 a.m. Cause like fucking you just bridge that shit, like beating the shit out of each other like all day. And in a virtual world, and then like that shit just builds a community, and then the next thing you know, like me and him are fucking drunk as shit at Combo Breaker, like having a great time. Like this shit's the best. I love fighting games.
so on a serious, I guess, quote unquote serious.
Yeah.
Like when I was like growing up, like I have like my main like core group of friends, and to this day I still do. You know, I have a couple friends that I'm cool with that know me personally. I interact with them. We're cool, right?
Right.
But outside of them, I've never really been a very social person. And even with them, a lot of times, I'm not very social. You know, I used to struggle, like, trying to, like, find people to relate with and, you know, talk about the same things. And I was kind of, like, nervous to talk to new people, period. And so that persisted pretty much all the way through high school. So imagine my surprise when I go from feeling like that to basically knowing people around, like literally, like knowing people around the world and interacting with them, like almost on a daily basis. I know people from New York. I know people from the East Coast, like the Virginia area, like DMV. I know people that are in Japan. I've met them. Like I know there's a person in the fighters community in Moscow, Russia, who posts like he posts like specific tech, like literally almost every day. I talk to him, and he's real cool, and he supports me from the other side of the globe. Like that's crazy, and it's all because like I decided to start competing in fighting games. Like we're all together bonding over a video game. Who would have thought that?
Right. That shit doesn't happen anywhere else, man. Like, shout outs to fucking Lemmy in Germany, who's a listener of this show, who's always around, and then Cross Moon in the UK. Like, those dudes are fucking... I fuck with those dudes heavy, because, like, those dudes are legit, like, super fucking good guys. And it's all because of fucking, like, Street Fighter. Like, because of Street Fighter, like, I know these dudes from around the world that are like, hey, man, like, if you're ever in the country, let me know. Like, you got a place to stay. Like, oh, fucking shit. Like, oh, man. That shit's real, though. Like, the love is super, super real. And, goddamn if, like, I don't appreciate everything that, like, fighting games have given me and my family and shit, you know? Because, like, my wife's gotten, like, getting to travel with me and shit now. And, like, she just, like, gets to enjoy the scene. Like, my kids, like, love when I bring them back shit from, like, Combo Breaker, Michigan Masters, and everything else. Like, they love, like, I don't know. They just like when I bring them presents anyways. Fuck them kids.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, fucking fighting games is great. But, all right, so... have you gotten to travel much? Like, have you gotten to see a lot of events outside of Michigan?
I actually have a lot this year. So my first year, I didn't really get to go to much. I did go to. I saved up for basically the whole year. Me and my friend, and we went to Evo in 2017.
Okay.
Kind of the only major that like we traveled really far to. We also went to Toryuken, but that was more just to go to Canada with all of our friends. And that, like, you know, we went there and Toryuken was also going on that weekend, so we was like, oh, okay, let's go play at Toryuken, you know, that'd be cool. And I did, like, okay, but I wasn't really worried about it. But we did go to Evo, and I did terrible, but I just wanted to enjoy, like, the experience of being there in 2017.
Right.
Then, I'm sorry, that's 2018. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I had my years wrong. That was last year.
All right, well, listen, I won't crucify you for it, but don't do it again.
Okay. I got you, man. I'll try my best. But, so this year, though, at the beginning of this year, I sat down and I was talking with one of my friends. I was like, you know what, bro? Like, I'm gonna take this shit serious. Like, I'm gonna really see how far I can push myself this year. And if I don't do as good as I want to, maybe I need to take a break, because it was eating up a lot of my time trying to practice and lab and stuff like that. And I had like real life stuff that I wanted to also focus on. And I was thinking like, dang, maybe I should, you know, take a break or whatever. And, you know, I was telling this to my friend. He said, okay, travel as much as you can this year, practice as much as you can this year, put everything you got into it and see how you do. And then if you don't get the results that you want, then maybe then you take a break. I was like, okay, got you, right? So I traveled as much as I possibly could. I think, let me review. I went to Final Round in March. I went to Combo Breaker in May. I went to something in the summer. I can't remember. I might have just been mostly here. I went to almost everything that was in Michigan.
Okay.
There was Proven. There's Michigan Masters. There's a lot of events back here. There's Neutral Ground, all the monthlies and stuff. There was, I think that's it for the summer. And then I think I'm missing something crucial, but whatever.
Defend the North.
And then I went, no, I didn't go to Defend the North. I really wanted to, but I had to save money to go to Evo. So I went to Evo.
Look, you made the right choice, it sounds like. Because it sounds like Defend the North.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't get to go, but I did hear a lot of things on social media, and I was like, that's tough.
Yeah.
I mess with a lot of people out in New York, so if you went to the event, I hope that you had a good time. But
yeah, for sure.
I just heard some stuff, man. That's all.
Yeah. Look, man, I got no disrespect to New York. Like, y'all are fucking cool. Anyone I've ever met from New York, fucking fine by me. That event seemed fucking whack. Like, y'all get your shit straightened out. It ain't no reason those trophies should be corroding and shit right now. Like, but it is what it is. But yeah, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the VODs back, so I watched a lot of Marvel from Defender North. It looked pretty good.
Yeah,
Shout out to Dragon God for beating Chris G. That was sweet.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, that was. God damn.
Fuck. But Chris G ended up running it back, and
well, look.
It's rough.
That's just the worst, man. Like, you're cheering for your boy, and like, fuck, man, he might do it. Like, gets the reset, like, just like fucking, I don't know, plays his ass off, and then like, he comes home with like a second place trophy, and you're like, fuck, man, like, you know, you're on the podium, man.
It's like, it ain't happened this time, man.
It's always next time, man. It's always next time. No big deal, no big deal. Oh, this fucking asshole.
Yeah, so I went to Evo, and I think that is. Oh, and then I'm going to YumaCon at the end of this month, and then that's like my whole travel schedule for this year. I still feel like I'm missing something, but it'll come to me.
Oh,
but anyways, yeah. So I've done a fair bit of traveling this year. Hopefully, I can do a little bit more next year.
Okay, all right. What would you say is the best event you've been to then at that point?
Oh, Combo Breaker free.
Yeah.
No competition.
Okay.
Combo Breaker is amazing. That's like I thought going to Evo last year after I went there and I saw like top 8 in the stadium, I was like, wow, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen, right? Like, that was a mind-blowing experience, like being at Evo that year and seeing all of these people come together to do something that I also enjoy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for
filling
sure.
the stadium to see top 8. That was mind-blowing to me. But as an overall tournament experience across the whole weekend, definitely Combo Breaker, hands down. Best run tournament I've ever been to. It was great.
Dude, the 24-hour game room, like everything, like all the setups that they had, like strewn across the entire resort, just everything was fucking awesome at Combo Breaker.
I think that's what I appreciated the most is that Combo Breaker understands the idea of why you travel in the first place. Like, yeah, you want to experience it and you want to, you know, see top players, fight against top players. You want to have fun in tournament. You know, you want to watch top 8s and stuff. But at the end of the day, 90% of people that go to tournament as a player want to get better. That they want to learn. They want to excel at whatever game they're playing and learn more. And the only way to do that is to play at the venue and play people that you aren't used to playing and see what you can pick up from other people.
Right.
And knowing that they have at least like 4, maybe 8 casual setups per game. Like per game. Man, I was like, wow, this is amazing. They had the whole wall full of setups for MK11 because it just came out. They had like a whole square of dedicated casual setups for Tekken. Same thing with Dragon Ball. So I played so much of that, both games that weekend and learned a lot. And it didn't interfere with the top 8s or the matches or the tournament that was going on.
Right.
You know? If you wanted to play casuals, you could play casuals. If you wanted to watch matches, you could watch matches. If you had a tournament match, you could enjoy your tournament match. It was perfect. It was just great.
Yeah, dude, like thinking back on it, like I was like, all right, so maybe I'll save some money and like not go to Combo Breaker next year, maybe go to Evo. But like looking back, I'm like, fuck, I might just go to Combo Breaker again, man, because that event was so much fucking fun. Like,
it was.
I just had so much fun. Like everything there was great. The New Orleans ballroom and shit, like the ice cream shop, like everything was great and like inside the resort. Mm-hmm. Man, everything so good, so good.
My only minor complaint again about Combo Breaker is that the venue is so far from civilization. Like, like we took the train, because you know it's a 4-hour drive, maybe 4.5-hour drive from Detroit to Chicago, which isn't too bad. But there was like a whole bunch of us. I think there was like 6, maybe 8 of us that traveled to Combo Breaker. You know, a lot of my friends who don't actively compete, or at least not as much as I do, they wanted to go because that was like the biggest major and that was the closest one. And, you know, I had been building it up. So they all decided to go and we had a good time. But we ended up taking the train in, and on the map, like I thought like Pheasant Run is like, you know, like Like I thought it was gonna be like a 15-minute drive. You know, we could just hop in the Uber and go.
Right.
Bro.
Nah.
Got to the train station in Chicago. It was like nah. That's like a cool hour. It's like wow.
Damn it. All right. So if I'm being honest, like I'm in like northern Michigan, like I'm in the fucking woods, right? Fucking Roscommon County represent. So like for me, it's like a 7-hour drive to Chicago, which fucking sucks. But like even St. Charles is like city to me, cause like
wow,
because like my town has a population of like 8,000, so like I think the whole county's like 11,000 people. So for me, St. Charles was like, oh man, like this is the city, and everyone else is like, nah, you fucking dumb hick, like this ain't no fucking city. And I was like, all right, makes sense, I guess. Like y'all have Ubers here, that shit's crazy. Like for me, like once you get to a place that has an Uber, I'm like, oh, this is a fucking city. Like it has an Uber, because like we ain't got that shit up here. Like if I want a fucking Uber, like I gotta call a best friend, hope they come pick me up, throw them $20 for gas. Cause like ain't fucking shit up here. Like it don't fucking exist. And I got fucking spoiled in Chicago or St. Charles. Fuck, not Chicago. Because like you know, I call Uber. Like I'll go somewhere. Like I call it like Uber Eats or like Eat24 and shit like that. I have food delivered. Then I come back here and I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll just get an Uber to go to like Walmart. Like nah, that shit don't exist. Like the nearest Uber's an hour away. Fuck.
Jesus.
Oh dog, it is country living up here. That's why I live through online, man. Like this, like through my Twitch and like through doing some random and shit like that. Like, that's how I exist to the rest of the world. Because I'm like, if I don't put something out here, I'm going to fucking die in these woods.
Well, I'm glad you're putting something out there. That's cool. That sounds real. Hey, that just made me, like, have a semi-reflection on the way that I live. Because I literally just ordered DoorDash, like, 2 hours ago. Like,
motherfucker. I had leftovers for dinner because I didn't want to go to Walmart to find food. So, like, that's how I live tonight. Like, the kids had leftovers. Like, fuck y'all. I ain't going to Walmart tonight. Oh, man. That's... Shit. Fucking... Like, it's
I've been to some really remote locations in Michigan. Because, like I said, I used to do first robotics when I was in high school. So, we used to take at least one trip a year. And it was usually 9 times out of 10 in Michigan. So I've been to like some areas around Traverse City. I've been to some areas around Gaylord, a little bit areas up north. But I don't think I've ever been that far.
Oh, no. Oh, see, like from Gaylord, like 45 minutes south of Gaylord is where I'm at. Like I'm smack dab, like middle of northern Michigan. So like I'm like right in the fucking perfect asshole of Michigan where there ain't shit around for like 2 hours. Traverse City's 2 hours away. Like that's the closest city. Or like Lansing is 2 hours away. Grand Rapids is 2.5 hours. Fucking Detroit's 3.5 hours. Like fuck me. Man, that's
rough.
Of all the places.
So whenever I take like a road trip or something, like I remember driving because like I said, we went to Toruyuki last year. I remember driving there. That was like a 4-hour drive, and you know how like have you ever taken a road trip and like halfway through the road trip you look on both sides and you see there's nothing but like wilderness.
Oh yeah.
You ever stop and think like I wonder if there are people that live like in this area. So you're those people.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say, yeah, it's me. I'm those fucking people. Like I live there. Like if you fucking look out the window and you just see like a Mexican like running like by your car begging for money, that's me. Like I'm out here, I'm running. If you look off in the fucking woods and you see like Abigail on a screen somewhere, you're like, oh fuck, like that's where Sriracha Flash lives, like right there. I can point to that motherfucker. Yeah, I'm those people. Like, and before this, not to fucking bring this too much on me, but like I lived an hour south of here in Ithaca, which is like all farm country. Like that has like a population of like 4,000 people. So I went from farm country like to the fucking woods. And so whenever I go anywhere that has like more than 10,000 people, I'm like, how do y'all live like this? It's so crowded. And then,
it's so crowded.
Yeah, like, and then I come up here and like, it's just so fucking open. Like the other day I was streaming and I looked out the window and there's just like deer in my front yard. And I'm like, oh fuck, like it's gonna be a good hunting season. And then someone was like, what do you mean there's deer in your yard? I'm like, what, y'all don't have deer in your yard? Like, no, I live in a fucking city, like a normal person. I'm like, ah shit, that's right. Like, y'all don't just have fucking like deer. Like, this is a real thing, right? Like, I'm happy that I get to talk to y'all because I can tell you this shit. Like, where I have to worry. I can't let my dogs out past 9 o'clock because there's a bear that roams the neighborhood right now.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
100% serious. Like, that's
actually terrifying.
Like, and we've seen him. Like, from my porch, like 20 feet out is my fence. Like, just beyond the fence is some woods, and we've seen that bear just like roaming around. And like, like we get the kids, we're like, oh look, there's the bear, and then the kids go fucking wave at the bear and shit like that. And like, you get on a little neighborhood like Facebook group, and everyone's like, you guys see the bear that's over on Goldenrod? Like, yeah, we saw the bear. And like, that's fucking country living. So,
in my backyard, yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, we saw that motherfucker. Don't worry. So like, as the only brown person up here, like, I get to experience white life. So it's like seeing bears and deer and shit. That's just fucking life, man.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
The next time I fucking see that bear, I'll just post a picture on Twitter. I'll tag you and I'll be like, see the motherfuckers right here.
Please do, because I can't, bro. I think I'd have a heart attack if I saw a bear in person.
Oh, there's so,
like, especially like a wild bear, like just in my backyard. Man. I wouldn't be going outside at all. Ever.
Like, they're friendly as shit, like, you know, from a distance. Like, from inside your house, like, oh, cool, it's a bear. I wouldn't go fuck with that bear. Because, like, I've been out hunting and shit like that, and you'll just see bear tracks, and you're just like, all right, like, we got to turn around. Like, I ain't fucking with this bear today. that shit's real as fuck. Me and my buddy Kevin were out in our deer blind, like, 2 years ago, and we fucking, like, we're getting down, and we saw bear tracks beneath us, where there weren't bear tracks when we got up in the blind like a couple hours earlier, and we never heard or saw that fucking bear. So we were like, yeah, fucking time to go home. Like, I ain't fucking around out here in the woods.
Like, oh, that's a wrap. Yeah, it's time to go.
Oh, fuck. Jesus,
that's
yeah.
hilarious.
So, yeah,
That's
stay in the city. Fucking St. Charles is a city to me.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right,
that's crazy because I always say that, like, a lot of what people think and a lot of like how people live their lives is all based off of perspective. So for you, coming to St. Charles is like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the city. Like you said, you got Uber Eats now. You can take the Uber wherever you want. You know, it's crowded, right? But for me, going to St. Charles is like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like,
oh,
that's
man,
hilarious. Yeah.
That shit. See, that's why I'm like, I want to hold an event up here, right? Like in the future, like I'm gonna save up a bunch of money. Like I'm gonna fucking plan out like a good event. And so when like I get a couple people up here, like even if it's like a couple dozen people, like maybe 50 people or whatever, I want y'all motherfuckers from the city to be like, how do you live like this? Like, I don't understand. Like, the only fucking restaurants we have up here are country kitchens. Like, every Mexican restaurant that's moved into town, like, the people drove it out because they're like, well, we ain't eating that fucking place. It's too dark. Like,
oh, no, man.
The most ethnic food we have up here is Taco Bell. Like, that's all we fucking have. We have a Lee's, like, Chinese kitchen and shit like that, but they've gone way downhill. Like, I don't even count that shit anymore. I think it's just, like, microwave, like, Chinese food now. So I can't count that. And, like, we have a China buffet.
PF Chang's.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, man. The closest PF Chang's 2 hours away. Like,
oh, my God.
Like, it's for real. Like, this is legit. I went to the gas station to get lunch the other day. Because I was just like, well, I don't want to go to, like, McDonald's because that's the only other option. So I'm just going to go to the gas station. I'll get some pizza and a Rockstar. And, like, that's my lunch. Like,
oh, man. That is rough.
Those are the restaurants.
That is rough, man.
But, yeah, it's, I don't know. But, yeah, like, different perspective for sure. Because, like, I go down to Michigan Masters, and I'm like, oh, man, like, there's food just right across the street. And everyone's like, oh, why don't we go to this place? Like, it's like a half-hour drive. I'm like, a half-hour drive? Are you fucking serious? And they're like, oh, well, you know, it's mostly traffic. Like, we're only in the car, like, for 5 miles. And, like, that shit blows my mind. Because if I'm in a car for 30 minutes up here, like, I'm in a whole nother city. Or, like, a whole other town. Like, like, that shit's wild to me. Because, like, from where I live, like, right now, it's 4 miles to my work. And, like, that's the longest drive I make all day. So, like, when I hear people like, oh, I got an hour commute to work, I'm like, how the fuck? Like, how do you live? I don't get that shit.
For me to get to work, I take the freeway most of the time, but it's about a little bit over half an hour. But it's about, I want to say 10 miles away. Oh, at least.
Oh, my God. So I was, like, right on the money with that estimation. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm in the car for half an hour for 10 miles. Fuck. I can't. Oh, man.
No, it has to actually. It's a little bit more. It's about 12, 13 miles.
Okay.
It has to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. See, that shit's it's fucking different. But
Right.
different strokes for different folks. And, like, I fucking love coming down there. Like, fucking Detroit's always treated me well. Like,
And so what's crazy, like we were saying earlier, if it wasn't for fighting games and for the FGC, we probably would never have interacted in life.
That's the other thing. Like, we would never have this fucking conversation if, like, we didn't start, like, pick up the sticks one day. Like, and that shit.
And that's what I love about the FGC is, like, when you know, okay, yeah, we could get together, we could play games, you know, we can hang out or whatever. But when we sit, like, when people get together and are doing that and sit down and talk about things outside of the FGC, you hear some very interesting stuff from, like, everyone. Everyone has some type of different perspective or some type of different experience, and, like, that is I find very interesting and very helpful to have.
Yeah. And, fuck, man, yeah.
Everybody has a story, you know.
Yeah, we're the real melting pot of, like, the gaming community and shit like that, because like, all kinds of different backgrounds and people come to the FGC, and, like, you just fucking meet everybody from all walks of life, man. That shit's crazy. Like, I've met. All right, so if I'm being honest to God, like, this is how fucking, like, sheltered and secluded where I live is, right? I, for the most part, like, I don't interact with a lot of people. And so, like, when I'm finally around people that are, like, my skin tone, I'm like, this is pretty fucking nice. Like, what the and, like, I have that shit because of fighting games. And, like, that's legit as fuck. Because, like, I can't just, like, go on Twitter and be like, I need some brown friends. Like, that shit just doesn't happen, you know? Like, but because I play fighting games, like, I get to fucking meet people, and I'm like, I have more fucking brown friends besides, like, all my white friends up here. Like, this shit's real.
That's hilarious.
Oh, fuck. Are we getting close to time for you? We got a hard out coming up soon? Or we got a little bit of time still?
Yeah, we can give it some more time.
All right, yeah, for sure. Like, listen, just everybody knows, everybody listen in the future, Spotify, iTunes, all other shit. We're live on Twitch right now. Sometimes people got hard outs, all right? But fucking it is what it is. Yeah, just to let y'all know, if you ever want to fucking come watch, twitch.tv/SrirachaFlash. For everyone else, rate, review, love us on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, all that other shit. See, this is how you do the podcast thing, because everyone tunes out at the end of the show. You just fucking throw it in the middle of the show, so they gotta pay attention. That's how you fucking trick them.
You bask it in the content, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that way they can't fucking tune out, motherfuckers. Right. All right, so you've been a fucking world traveler, man. Is there an event that, like, you haven't been able to get to yet that you're looking forward to?
Oh, man. There's a couple. Like, there are a couple, like, dream events that I wish I could go to that are, like outside of the U.S. But I think, like, the main thing I'd want to go to is probably an event in France called the Mix Up. And I have a personal reason for wanting to go there. Okay. But of course, I want to compete, and I want to, like, you know, meet I know a couple people in France and in the UK that compete that I talk to on Twitter sometimes. But something a lot of people don't know about me, my grandmother was actually a French immigrant.
Whoa.
Yeah, like whole full-blooded, born and raised from France.
Okay. Yeah,
and so I've always told my mom, like, yeah, one day we'll go. But, like, I want to go, like, and see, at least see, like, what her hometown looked like. She grew up in, I believe it's called Angoulême. It's it's like kind of like a small village town outside of Bordeaux, from what I understand. Okay. And so I want to go to the Mix Up to meet, like, my all my, like, European homies, but I also like want to spend some of that time, like, at least taking in, like, you know, the type of environment my grandma grew up in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. That's actually really sick. That is not the reason I would have expected. See, at first I was like, it's got to be a girl, right? Like, that's why he wants to go. So technically, it is a girl, but
technically, yeah, the lady in my heart, yes.
But yeah, man, no, that's cool as fuck. Like, if there was an event that was, like, by, like, where my because, like, my grandma is a Mexican immigrant, my grandma and my grandpa are. So if there was an event, like, down in Mexico and I could go, I'd be like, hell yeah, like, fuck yeah, like, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, that's dope. But and then the other one that I want to go to, and this is purely like unrelated to like that situation. I want to go to Master Cup because man, that shit is amazing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I really like the idea of team tournaments. And like I remember watching one year, and like all the commentators, they were kicking back, they were saying whatever they wanted to say on commentary, and like the people were playing, and there was some really really great matches going on. So I wish that like I had like, well, I do. There's plenty of people in the Detroit FGC that would love to go out there, I'm sure. But I want one day, like, I want all of us to go out there and just wash some people, like,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
just kick back with like all the people around the world that play Tekken that go to this event.
Yeah, because it's one thing, to fucking, like, you're one-on-one and, like, you win and, like, that shit means a lot. It's a whole other thing to roll up, like, with your fucking dudes and you fucking, like, run a tournament. Like, that shit, like, it's fucking... Woo,
I feel like there's probably no feeling to replace that. Like you said, you just with your homies and you just wash everybody. Like that has to be a dope feeling.
Yeah, because you can't be like, oh, like this dude won, but like the rest of the scene isn't as good. Like when the whole fucking scene shows up and the whole fucking scene washes everybody around you, goddamn son, like that's when you know, like they're the fucking y'all are the champs.
Speaking of the scenes, like.
Oh yeah. You wanted to bring up the Detroit FGC.
Yeah. So, doubling back into like what you had mentioned earlier, like I just wanted to like say like, man, I'm so appreciative for the scene that I like get to be a part of. Like I feel really lucky that I was like born and raised in like this area of Michigan because of the people that I get to be around like on a weekly, monthly basis. Really more than that, And at first, the thing that everybody knows my scene for is like heavy shit talk. Right? Yeah. that's what we're world famous for. Everyone around the world has seen the somebody's getting fucked video. Oh right. Yeah, that's fine, right? We're loud, we're proud, whatever, right? But when you're in the scene, especially if you're first coming in, it's so different from what you would think it is. Like I know that for me personally, it was kind of hard transitioning in because, like I said, I'm not a very social person. I didn't really develop a lot of great social skills, right? So when I came in, and I'm already thinking I'm good, and I start getting destroyed by some of these people, and they start talking shit like, "Oh yeah," yelling in my face and stuff. And oh shit, like maybe the FGC is not for me, I started to think that like, oh man, I don't know if I keep coming here. Right. But once you're in the scene long enough and you finally like start to make progress and you start to listen to what people are saying to you and taking the advice, it's really just really strong pride and tough love that cause the people in my scene to do the things that they do and act the way that they do. And I love it. I love my scene. I feel like there's no scene like it in the world when it comes to fighting games. There's nobody that acts like us and does the things that we do and at the same time are as close as we are, I feel like,
Oh.
So it's really something I feel really like honored to be a part of, because it's weird having been in it for 2 years and seeing things happen to other people that happened to me, but seeing like the way that they handle it,
Right.
Because I learned and I understood that, okay, the reason why they talk shit like they do to especially new people, like at first I'm like, that's not a good way to bring people in. You're going to scare people off. That's the point. Because if you let's say somebody on commentary at one of our locals said it perfectly. If you can allow people to talk shit about you here, the way that we talk shit, and you can still stay focused and win, there's literally nothing that can distract you when you go to a major at all. The crowd just ceases to exist. Yeah. And that's really important. The reason why we act the way we do is to just build mental fortitude and let you know, like, the people out of state or people that are not from our community, they're not going to root for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not going to root for you. They're not going to want to see you win. You have to win in spite of that and learn how to not allow that to affect your gameplay. That's the biggest lesson of the community. I feel like, you know.
Right.
So I feel like my community is like misunderstood in a lot of things, but it's really just pride and love for the people who are here and want to be here. You know.
Yeah, I mean, from like, I guess I'm part of the Michigan FGC, I guess collectively now, but because I'm like I said, middle of nowhere, I get to claim wherever the fuck I want as part of my scene.
Right.
But like, for me, the Detroit FGC has always been like super passionate, super fucking loud, but like they've always been good to me, like, and so I understand when people are like, I don't, I don't mix with that, like. That doesn't work for me because everyone has their own fucking ways of like adapting, learning, and like taking that shit in. But what I will say is the camaraderie that like the main Detroit FGC scene has is unlike anything else. And like you said, like that shit forges a fucking brotherhood. And like that scene is so tight and fucking collective. It's really unlike anything else in the world. It really is.
See, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, I feel like when they're on the outside looking in, they only see the main people. They only see L Train. They only see Footwork. They only see Uncle Caps, of course. They see and hear Uncle Caps.
Right.
They see...
It's kind of hard not to hear Caps.
Yeah. They see, like, the main people that are, like, really vocal and really close with each other. But the thing is, like, that extends across the community. A lot of people don't know that about us. Like, once I got over myself and like over my own feelings, like, oh, I think that I'm cold, I don't need to listen to everybody. Once I started to sit down and listen and ask people, look, I need help. Like, what am I doing wrong? They will sit down. All of those people I just named, they will sit down and they will teach you, like, look, this is what you need to do. If you want to get better, you're gonna have to like nut up and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and once you start to make progress and you show that time is being spent well. And you're actually listening, and you're trying. Once they see you're trying to get better, you instantly become like a part of that group,
right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what makes it fucking special is the ability to like switch from tough love to mentor, like fucking that,
Exactly. And I think that's I don't know of any other, at least that I'm aware of. I've never seen that with any other type of community ever. Like the Michigan FGC is unique to me.
Oh, so we're very fucking unique. Let me tell you that much, man. Like, goddamn. And we export like some of the best fucking players like across all scenes. Like
by far,
we have hitters in every single fucking scene, and it's shit, man. It seems like any event that you turn on, you're like, oh fuck, like I know that dude. Like he like goes to my local, like he goes to this event that I go to. Like he knows the guy that fucking I'm friends with and shit like that. Like we've played together, and I don't know the Michigan scene, like especially the Michigan and Midwest scene. I feel like we put out the best fucking players in the country, and like
dude, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go on record. I'm gonna say this. Ain't nobody fucking with the Midwest as a whole.
Nah.
No way. We're too good. Too good.
Look, I'll fucking agree with you there, baby. Fucking Midwest.
Midwest for real. Man. Like, across all games, ain't nobody fucking with the Midwest.
Nah, fuck that. Like, ain't nobody touching us. Like, I understand the East Coast and West Coast, like, got super, super big, and they export a lot of very fucking strong players. Because it's very easy, because there's a lot of people, like, they have a lot of advantages as far as, like, outreach and communication and stuff goes, and getting their streams out there. But, like, as far as player talent goes, you will not find a fucking bet like between Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee. You will not find a fucking better group of players than are in the Midwest right there. Like we will beat anybody from the South. We'll beat anybody from out West. We'll beat anybody from the East Coast. Like we're the best. We fucking do the
talent
best.
Pool is insane. And you know what's even scarier about that is that I personally know players who don't get to travel very often that would like when those restraints come off and they get to start traveling, people are gonna have a bad time. Like seriously, man. Like people are gonna have a real rough time when some of these people start to travel more. It's gonna get real ugly.
No, man, that shit like right now, like in the fucking RSF voting for our Street Fighter like sponsorship, we have Amezi, Mike Too Strong, and No Good Citizen that are fucking like the top 3. And like all those dudes, fucking Midwest FGC, because everyone wants to see those dudes compete and get better and like show up because they know they're gonna fucking like do damage in these tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah, Footwork was on there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fucking Footwork's on there too. Goddamn. Sorry, I know he's like sitting at 4th place right now. I just saw like the lineup. I'm on there too, but fuck me. So
we trying to see that Abigail on the big stage, man.
Look, man. Eventually, I ain't worried about it. Like I'll pay for myself to get out there. I don't give a shit.
I respect it.
But yeah, man. Like I don't know. To have Footwork in 4th and shit like that. Like we still have I think Seth Mark II or whatever. He's from Chicago or Wisconsin. Like another Midwest player. Like the top 5 are Midwest players that are super fucking strong, and people want to see these super strong players compete. Like if that doesn't speak volumes, that like the top 5 dudes that at this point have at least 2,000 votes to themselves, that people just want to see compete and get better. Like if that alone, like that doesn't tell you like how strong the scene is. Like I don't know what to tell you, my dude. Like we're fucking good. And I know, like, in the future, I'll have people from the East Coast and West Coast on here that'll probably listen back to this and go, yo, so what the fuck? And I'll be like, run it then. Like, fucking run the set.
Run the set,
yeah, because I'm fucking waiting. Like, I don't give a shit. Oh, man.
I'll literally go on record say that. Like, game for game, talent for talent is not fucking with the Midwest. It's just not. Like, too good. Yeah. Like, it's the weirdest feeling when you're seeing someone be successful, or you're seeing someone and you're like, I wonder where this person is from. And you go look it up, or you go to their Twitter, Midwest. Almost every time. It's incredible. Like, any person that you've never heard of before, and you see them doing work at a tournament, you go to their Twitter, Midwest.
Yeah. Oh, motherfucker's like 2 blocks away from me. What the fuck? Right, how come I never seen him before?
I remember because I watch a lot of Marvel 3. Like, that's probably my favorite game to watch. I've never been like very good at playing it because, like, again, like I wasn't competitive at the time, so I didn't get to learn it properly.
Right.
But I remember watching there's this like FGC highlight channel that like makes a whole bunch of Marvel 3 highlights, and I remember watching Jocko Man's highlights with
okay.
He has like the weirdest team. It's like Daredevil, Felicia, and somebody I can't remember his third. But I remember watching his highlights like a while ago, right? And I was like, man, this is a really weird team. I wonder where he's from. I met this dude like 2 weeks ago. I forgot about like this person entirely until I met him, and he was like, yeah, my name's Jocko, man. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he picked his team. I was like, dude, what the fuck? He's from here? That's serious, dude.
I had the same fucking experience this year at Michigan Masters, because I rolled up and I saw this motherfucking dude in his like American flag like flannel or like button up that he had on, and like the cowboy hat, and he just came up to me and he goes, Sriracha Flash, and I go, yeah. He goes, I'm Jocko, man. Like, oh fuck, like nice to meet you. Like, I've seen 1,001 of your fucking videos on YouTube and shit. Yeah, and he's like, oh, you want to like take 2 seconds and like talk to me? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. Like, and I talked to him about his vlog and shit that he was doing like that, and he's like, all right, man, have a good day. The next thing I knew, he was getting like 1st place in Marvel Infinite and like 2nd in Marvel 3. Like, goddamn, like the dude's a fucking killer, and he's the nicest fucking dude, like the most unassuming dude. He's
he's nice as hell. Yeah,
like, man, fucking shout outs to Jocko.
Yeah,
man.
Like he came to one of our locals like on a casual night. He just showed up and he started playing Marvel. And so I was talking to him. For a minute before I asked him what his name was. He's like, yeah, Jocko, man. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And it clicked. And especially when I saw his team, I was like, oh shit, that's him.
All right, so you got to fill me in, because like I know a little bit about Neutral Ground, but like I don't know much about like I know it's a monthly. I know like it's the new local that just popped up in place of like everything else that had been going on in Detroit. So like give me the rundown, like the quick rundown on Neutral Ground.
Okay, so the beginning of Neutral Ground came when our community was having some disputes about our culture. So the same culture that I was talking about earlier with the loud, proud, we're here and we're going to say what we want and have fun, right?
Yeah.
That started to cause some problems with some people, and the community started to splinter off around Michigan Masters last year, right? Mm-hmm. Or not last year, actually earlier this year. I'm sorry. It's almost the end of the year.
Yeah, dude, fuck, talk about it. But, what is time?
Yeah, exactly. Time is relative. But, but anyway, so that happened, and some people, in fact, some close friends of mine in the community decided that it wasn't fair that we were splintering off like this because there are people who have nothing to do with the situation that just want to have somewhere to play and train and want to get better. So they got together, and it originally was just an idea of, okay, what if we just have somewhere where we could just leave all the drama at the door, leave everything aside, and just come together and get back to what we all love, which is playing fighting games, right? And it grew, and there was 4 people who did it. Keith B, Black Havoc, SRM Dougie, and Sun Kobo. They got together and they laid the groundwork and did all the work to get us a venue. And originally it was at like a apartment building ballroom, like an apartment complex ballroom, right?
Okay.
They announced it. They said, look, we're going to have this event. We're going to try to make it a weekly. We want to just bring everybody in that wants to play the game and just come together and be cool and play. And this is after the whole situation with Michigan Masters, and after like having like 2-3 months of not having a local, right? And so they were worried that nobody was gonna show up. I of course went because, man, I'm hungry. Like I need to play some games. You know what I mean? I haven't like been able to train properly since all the stuff happened.
Right. And
I think they said about 50 people showed up, crowded into this tiny little ballroom clubhouse area. There was no air conditioning. This was in the middle of the summer. No air conditioning. Cramped up. The TVs were on the wall. Everybody almost, a lot of people brought a setup. They had the setup spilling out into the hallway, basically, so we could, just have somewhere to sit down and play. And we all came together and we just started playing, and we had such a great time. And they were so happy by that result. They were like, we're going to do whatever it takes to get a consistent local weekly tournament back. So they had it there a couple times. Still about 20, 30, 40 people showed up at each time. And eventually, someone in World Oak had opened, like literally just opened like a gaming lounge area, right? It's called LFG in World Oak. If you're in the Metro Detroit and you're interested in fighting games, you're listening to this, please come to LFG in World Oak on Mondays, Tuesdays, and whenever we have a monthly, right? Monday we have our weekly tournaments, and Tuesdays we have anime night casuals. But they reached out to Neutral Ground, the staff, and they said, look, I just opened this place. I need people to come in. What can I do? And they was like, do we got a solution for you? Like, so right. That became our venue, our dedicated venue, a World Oak at LFG, and they've been running weekly tournaments there ever since. And the way that it's just grown and grown and grown to the point where I think one night we had 50 entrants on a weekly for Tekken.
Damn.
For just Tekken, there was about 50 entrants one night.
Damn.
Nobody was expecting that. In fact, we were, the staff was like kind of unprepared for it. They didn't really have enough setups and stuff, so the tournament took a while. But 50 people came out to play Tekken.
Damn.
I think that was the week before season 3 came out. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's just been growing ever since. So now they've had 2 monthlies. I think they've had about, I want to say like 20 something weeklies, and they still going strong. They have anime night casuals on Tuesdays, like I said. There's another tournament organization group that cooperates with them called Grand Finals Gaming. They do a lot for our community too. They've been sending out some of our top players to tournaments and sponsoring them. They run casuals at LFG on Wednesdays, and it's really, really great to see. Especially having like been a player through the time when like there wasn't anything going on, which kind of sucked for like such a strong community. Like, it's really great to see everybody, not only everybody coming together, but people coming in that probably wouldn't have got that chance if, things had continued to be the way they were.
Right. And I know
that just goes to show, like, the main message in that story is be the change you want to see, Because these 4 people, if they didn't decide, like, look, I want to train. I want our community to be together. I want to be able to come here and play games with my friends. If they didn't decide to do that, then this whole event or string of events would never have happened, you know?
Right. And fucking shout out to
Dougie. Gotta be the change you want to see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like if you want something to happen, like the fucking boots on the ground, man. Fucking make that shit happen.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking shout outs to Dougie. I know he was jealous earlier that you got to be on the show before he did.
Yeah, Dougie, listen and hope that shit. Our shit posting, man.
But for anyone that's fucking curious, if you want to go to LFG in Royal Oak, it's 617 South Washington Avenue, Royal Oak, Michigan 48067. Fucking go out, fucking go to the neutral ground. That shit's gonna be tight.
Yes.
I guarantee you will not have a bad time. For anyone watching the VOD on Twitter or YouTube, it's up on the screen right now. All the information's here. This is from the past event that was Sunday, September 29th. But fuck, man, between Samurai Showdown, like Cross Tag, Street Fighter, Zerd 2, Third Strike, Mortal Kombat 11, Eunice, Tekken 7, and Dragon Ball FighterZ, you will find a game. I promise you'll find a game at LFG.
Yeah, they even have a lot of side tournaments for games that aren't played as heavily in our community, but people still enjoy. Like you said, they had Third Strike last Sunday.
Yeah, I know. Poverty
Marvel
Game
3.
Night was there.
They had they had a little bit of everything, man. I mean, whatever you bring a casual setup to. If you just want to run games with somebody or find somebody to run games with, that's fine. I mean,
yeah,
it's a great place to be at, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, look, man, fucking you talking about it's got like Drac in the comments being like he wants to fucking go right now. He's already planning his trip to the Midwest.
Hey man, come through, man, come through.
Yeah, look, the Michigan FGC will fucking treat you right. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I promise you. Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I won't keep you too much longer. So I'll ask you these last two questions. If anyone in the chat has any questions they want to ask EJ, go ahead and hit us up now. Like throw them in the chat. Let us know. EJ, for of the last two questions, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite story that's come out of the FGC? Be it personal, be it just fucking seeing Sonic Fox on stage, fucking no matter what. What's your favorite story that's come out of the FGC?
My favorite story from the FGC. You know what? Just because it's such an extended storyline, and it's like if you really read into it, it's actually really incredible. It has to be the rivalry between Goichi and Sonic Fox. I have not witnessed something like this in front of me, and like basically kind of been an active like participator in the same thing ever. Like the levels that their rivalry is reaching currently is kind of incredible to see. Like it's ridiculous.
It's fucking superhuman because like it's seriously a fucking Dragon Ball arc. Because
it is.
Like
it is.
Goichi will fucking wash Sonic Fox like for 3 events, and then Sonic Fox is like, "Motherfucker, I've been training." And then like he comes back for 3 events, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck!" Like Sonic Fox is the best in the world. And then like cut to Goichi is like off in the fucking mountains or some shit training, and he shows up and he's like wiping snow out of his fucking hair like and off of his stick, and he beats Sonic Fox in like a first to 10. And I'm like just back and forth with these fucking dudes, man.
I think the crowning jewel moment of it is definitely this year at Evo when Goichi beat Sonic Fox, and he was so overcome with emotion that he could barely, his hands were shaking violently.
He couldn't get his glasses off. He was all like
he could cry. That was so heart touching to see in person.
Yeah, that shit legit like gave me butterflies. Like I was like, holy fuck.
Yes, exactly. Like as a competitor, like if seeing that doesn't get you excited and make you want to play, like oh my god, I don't think anything will. Like
and fucking huge shout outs to fucking Sonic Fox for like giving him a hug and fucking holding his hand up. Like those two like battle it out, and I'm sure like it's super fucking heated mid match. As soon as that match is over, like those dudes will fucking like hug like. Fucking shake hands, like they're super chill with each other, like they hoist each other up, man. Like those dudes, fuck. Like if there were role models for the FGC, it's those two dudes right there, and like their spirit and their gameplay, like those dudes are what we need for the scene.
That's exactly how it should be. You know, like when it's time to play, don't talk to me. We're not friends. I hate you. I want to destroy you. But afterwards, after we're done playing, you're a competitor. I respect the amount of effort that you've put into the game just as much as I have. You should show each other respect and be comrades, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like we'll fucking like after a match we'll grab a shot and a beer and like we'll have a good time. Like
definitely.
But until that point, I want to fucking eliminate you.
Right, right. You are a goal. You are a object in the way of my goal.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I met my boy Overhaul at Michigan Masters this year, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, man! Like, nice to see you." And then like we got paired up in losers bracket for Street Fighter V, and like. Fucking nothing personal, kid. Like that's fucking how I was like shit, man. Like I love you like a brother, but like I need to make this top 8 right now. Like I ain't dealing with this shit.
Exactly. That's me and my training partner in fighters. Like we do the same thing. Like we'll be all cool. We help each other out. He's really like a close personal friend to me. Like outside of the FGC, I've known him for a couple years, but when it's time, like if we ever have to play against each other in tournament, like don't talk to me at all during set. Like, I don't know you. I don't know who you are. I have to destroy you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Oh shit! All right. Well, before I get to my last question, RF Hacker in the chat wants to know: could you see yourself playing a VR fighting games over the current games in the future? So, like, let's say we had Tekken VR in the future. Like, would you shift towards that over conventional fighting games?
See, I don't know because it depends on how it would control. Like, if the controls are intuitive and like it makes sense and you are actively like it's still balanced, you know what I mean? Like as long as it would make sense, you know what I mean? Then I would yeah sure, why not? I mean that sounds dope.
yeah for sure.
If I feel like playing classic, I guess at that point it would be classic. Playing classic fighting games is more like pure and more like skill based and stuff. And yeah, I'd stay with whatever I feel like is more skill based.
Okay, so like let's say they gave it like motion controls and you gotta fucking you gotta show off the EJ boxing skills. Like you gotta fucking do the electric. Like you want the electrics to come out, you better fucking do them.
yeah. That would be fun. I think I see myself doing that. But at the end of the day, it's all to me. I'm a very, very competitive person. Whatever is more pure competition, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, you know? For sure. Yeah, I can see that.
I ain't trying to have no Striking Viper situation. So, I'm good.
Oh shit! All right, man. Well, look, I'll hit you with this last question. I'll let you get out of here. If there's anything on your mind, anything you want to get off your chest, any thoughts, fucking be it within the FGC or outside of the FGC, now's your chance to get whatever you got off your chest. Giving you the platform.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
I thought you had like another question first.
No.
Okay, cool.
No, this is what it is. Anything you got to get off your chest, anything you want to talk about, now's your chance to get it off your chest right now.
Okay. Well, let me see. First of all, shout out to Neutral Ground. Shout out to the staff that runs Neutral Ground. Y'all are doing an amazing job. Black Havoc, Dougie, Coble, and Keith. Keep doing what you're doing. Y'all do so much for the community. Shout out to everybody in Corn that is doing, trying their best to help me get better. I know that sometimes I'll be lacking and I don't come up to the part that you want me guys at, that you guys want me at, but I'm gonna try my best to get better. Shout out to all the people around the world that I've played, that talk to me on Twitter and like my memes and stuff. The reason I started posting like more memes and stuff on Twitter, like my Twitter originally was just for FGC and just for just talking about stuff going on with me, like anybody's Twitter. But I was like, you know what, like I like to look at memes, I like to laugh at memes, so I just decided to start posting them and making more original stuff because I want someone else to laugh and have a good time at some point during the day when they look at my Twitter. If I know that somebody laughed at some shitty joke that I made on Twitter, then my day is good, you know? So shout out to anyone that may have seen my Twitter or, laughed at something that I said. I hope that you guys are having a good time. And I made a tweet recently, and I just want to touch on that topic and just make sure that you guys really understand. I try to be a very nice person. I show respect to every person that I play. And I watch some people. I study some people. I root for some people. But I am nobody's fan. I am EJ. I am the LeMon. That's my complete tag. I'm EJ the LeMon. And no matter who you are, no matter what game you play, especially if it's the same game as me, I'm coming for you. I'm getting better every day. And no matter who you are, I don't care what your name is. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what your experience level is. If you pick up the controller and you're going against me, then you're an enemy. And I'm going to do everything I can in my power to beat you. And if I can't do it right then and there, I'm going to do everything I can to get stronger to beat you eventually, no matter what. That's point blank, period.
All right. Yeah, look. Hey, I feel you. Like, that's 100% the heart of the FGC. To be a fucking true competitor, and then at the end of the day, like, to be respectful. Like, that's the shit. And look, ain't nothing more I can ask for you from that, or nothing more I can ask from you than that. So fuck it, man. Look, we'll call it a show on that note. Fuck EJ, it's been fucking great to fucking have you on, man. This has been a wonderful time. If you want to throw a shout out to all the people on the internet, let them know where can they find you.
Y'all can find me mostly on Twitter at EJ_the_Lemon. Your local FGC shit poster. I'm always here, trying to get better. If you got good cooler or Gentex, send it my way. I appreciate you. It's all love, and I hope that I hope that y'all find something to make y'all laugh.
Hell yeah! If y'all want to find me on the internet, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Xbox. Oh fuck, I can't even come up with a funny one. I'm Sriracha Flash all over the internet. Y'all can find me. Y'all know what it is. If you listen to us on iTunes, fucking throw us a rating and subscribe. It super helps out a lot. If you want to buy fucking merch, there's merch on my Twitch page, twitch.tv/SrirachaFlash, or I'll throw up the fucking merch store in the chat right here, so that way that's there forever. Anything else? I don't know. If y'all want to listen to the show, if you want to be on the show, hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/SrirachaFlash, and fucking hit me up. You'll be on the show. It's not that hard. I like to have anybody and everybody on. But that being said, this has been Some Random. I've been Sriracha Flash. This has been EJ the LeMon. And that's the show, everybody. Have a good night.
All right. Peace, y'all.